High performers do not stumble into success. They architect it. They build systems, habits, environments, questions, and decisions that make excellence the default. Tim Ferriss's Tools of Titans unpacks how world-class thinkers, athletes, and entrepreneurs design these invisible engines of achievement. In this Beyond the Books lesson, we'll uncover the patterns of mastery hidden beneath the tips and how to start building your own system today. Every extraordinary performer you admire, every creator, athlete, or entrepreneur who seems untouchable, they're not fueled by motivation alone. They're powered by systems. These systems are networks of behaviors, decision filters, questions, and mental frameworks that quietly compound over years. When Tim Ferriss wrote Tools of Titans, he didn't offer a single formula for success. He created a living map of the patterns used by top performers and handed us the tools to build our own. But here's the subtle truth. This book is not a grab bag of trendy hacks. It's a study of the hidden architecture behind greatness, the operating systems that make mastery repeatable. If you only skim the routines, supplements, and productivity tricks, you'll miss the deeper framework tying it all together. Let's start there. The first pattern is unmistakable. World-class performers design environments that make greatness unavoidable. They do not rely on daily bursts of willpower. They don't wake up fighting themselves into discipline. Instead, they build triggers, rituals, and constraints so that the right action is the easy action. Think about it. A Navy SEAL training in brutal conditions isn't thinking about motivation. His environment, his teammates, his schedule, his expectations pulls excellence out of him. A best-selling author doesn't wait for inspiration. She sits in the same chair, at the same hour, with the same tools. Her environment makes writing inevitable. Most people do the opposite. They fight their environment instead of shaping it. They leave ice cream in the freezer and wonder why the diet fails. They keep their phone within reach and wonder why focus evaporates. Long before intention fails, environment wins. The Titans flip that script. They engineer invisible systems where the right choice is frictionless, and the wrong choice requires effort. Here's the next pattern. They start small. Not with a total life overhaul, not with a 12-step reinvention. They stack tiny wins that ripple forward. This is the real reason morning routines matter. A ritual is not magic. It's a keystone behavior that shapes the choices that follow. Ferriss highlights meditation again and again. Billionaires, chess masters, elite athletes all rely on it. Why? Because meditation builds the meta skill of awareness. It gives you a microsecond between stimulus and response. And in that microscopic pause, better decisions are born. Most people think meditation is about relaxation. Titans use it as mental resistance training, a practice for noticing attention, interrupting autopilot reactions, and directing focus exactly where it matters. They don't meditate to escape the world. They meditate to face it with precision. And once attention is solid, every other tool, nutrition, creative output, strategic focus, becomes far easier to deploy. Ferriss organizes the book in 3 sections: healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's not arbitrary. It's the outline of a self-reinforcing loop. Health creates energy. Energy fuels focus and action. Focus compounds into wealth. Wisdom protects wealth from destroying health and happiness. Titans are constantly scanning for weak links in this loop and tuning it. Start with the bottleneck, not the trend. You don't need every tool, just the right tool, applied where it matters most. This is where Ferriss's 80-20 thinking becomes powerful. Top performers are not trying to optimize everything equally. They ask a sharper question: Which small number of actions creates the majority of the result? Which 20% of effort produces 80% of progress? Which habit, relationship, skill, or decision moves the whole system forward? Most people spread effort evenly across everything. Titans hunt for the few levers that actually matter. They don't confuse motion with impact. They look for the one bottleneck that, if fixed, makes 10 other problems easier. That is why their progress can look unfair. They are not doing more random work. They are applying force where it multiplies. Decision-making is another quiet differentiator. Top performers reduce mental clutter by building rules. A billionaire investor might look spontaneous, but behind the scenes, they use principles, filters, and checklists so that 90% of decisions are automatic. Their best energy is reserved for the 10% of choices that truly move the needle. Most people do the opposite. They burn energy on trivia. Which email to answer first? What to eat for lunch? Whether to go to the gym or scroll their phone. By the time a real opportunity appears, they're mentally spent. This is why Ferriss champions principles like hell yes or no. If an opportunity doesn't create clear excitement, it's a no. That single rule erases dozens of energy-draining maybes. Decision fatigue doesn't just waste time. It robs courage from the choices that could transform your life. But Ferriss adds another kind of decision tool: fear setting. Most people avoid bold action because fear stays vague. It floats in the mind as a dark cloud. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I lose everything? Fear setting turns that cloud into a list. What is the worst case? How could I prevent it? If it happened, how could I repair it? And what is the cost of doing nothing? That last question is the one most people avoid, because staying the same feels safe, until you realize it has a price too. A job you hate, a body you neglect, a dream that quietly expires. Titans don't eliminate fear. They define it clearly enough to move anyway. A subtler pattern emerges. Titans hunt for asymmetry. They look for moves where the upside is huge and the downside is survivable. This is why they'll experiment with unusual business ideas, health protocols, or creative risks. They aren't reckless. They are methodically fearless. Their small experiments either quietly fail or explode into exponential wins. Most people do the reverse, grinding for predictable promotions, repeating safe routines, investing massive effort for tiny, certain returns. Playing it safe often means betting your life on moves that can never change it. Titans flip that. They place small asymmetric bets again and again. Most fade. A few ignite and alter everything. Ferriss also returns to one question that cuts through complexity. What would this look like if it were easy? It sounds almost too simple. But that is why it works. Most people make success heavier than it needs to be. They assume struggle proves value. They add steps, add complexity, add pressure. Then they wonder why they never start. This question interrupts that pattern. What would the workout look like if it were easy to repeat? What would the business idea look like if the first version were simple? What would the difficult conversation look like if it didn't need to be perfect? The point is not to avoid hard things. The point is to stop making them harder than necessary. Simplicity is often the doorway to consistency. By now, the deeper architecture of Tools of Titans is clear. It's not about copying routines. It's about engineering leverage, internal leverage, mindset, energy, focus. External leverage, networks, platforms, capital. Temporal leverage, habits and systems that compound over time. None of their rituals are random. Cold plunges, journaling, intermittent fasting, stoic reflection. Each is a lever that multiplies the effect of the others. Journaling is one of the quietest tools in the book. It doesn't look impressive. It doesn't feel dramatic. But it turns noise into signal. A journal helps you catch the thoughts that keep looping in your mind. It lets you see patterns in your emotions, decisions, fears, and goals. It gives your inner chaos somewhere to land. Morning pages, gratitude lists, questions before bed. A simple review of what worked and what didn't. The format matters less than the function. Reflection turns experience into usable data. And once your life becomes data, you can start adjusting it with precision. But here's the trap. Tools only work in a system. Skip integration, and your structure collapses. Adopt a productivity hack without fixing sleep, and you accelerate burnout. Chase wealth without gratitude and reflection, and you engineer anxiety instead of freedom. Ferriss built a toolbox. The hidden message is to assemble your own engine. A tool in isolation is just a task. A tool inside a system becomes leverage. When the system clicks, you see the truth. The people you admire are not superhuman. They are engineers of their own defaults. Step 1. Awareness. Spot the weakness in your personal system. Step 2. Selection. Choose the simplest tool to strengthen it. Step 3. Integration. Embed that tool into your environment until it runs on autopilot. A habit hardens into a principle. A principle becomes a filter. A filter builds a system, and the system produces results that look like talent. The final insight is this. Titans are not chasing balance. They are pursuing alignment. Alignment between their daily actions, their true values, and the outcomes that compound over decades. They design lives where success is the side effect of structure. Greatness is not an act of intensity. It is the automatic byproduct of a life aligned to make the right moves inevitable. If there's one lesson to carry forward, it's this. Greatness is not about doing more. It's about designing a life where the right things happen automatically. Pick one weak spot in your system today. Ask, what would this look like if it were easy? Then choose one small tool, meditation, journaling, fear setting, or an 80-20 review, and test it for 7 days. Comment below with your first move, subscribe to Beyond the Books, and start designing a system that makes your own success inevitable. Learning is the first step. Testing the tool is where your life starts to change.